I think Texas is one of the best teams in the SEC.
So Marley, only one of us will be alive after today's Cardinals and Bills game.
I will say y'all are absolutely wild for that.
Did Tyreek Hill get arrested or what?
Yeah, he did right outside the stadium.
For what?
Get some Antonios today.
Yes, sir.
This is Peace of Mind Sports Podcast, presented by the UnoFam and the Overs Club for your best bet. Now here's your hosts, Mark, Max, and Marley.
Welcome to week 2, gentlemen. Peace of Mind Sports Podcast coming to you live for week 2 of the NFL season. And of course, college football as well. What's up, boys? You know?
Let's go, baby.
I declare this now, since it's the NASCAR playoffs, this is going to be a NASCAR show moving forward because I don't want to talk about the Browns today. I don't. I really don't. All right. So quick change. NASCAR playoffs. Let's get it.
Head change out of nowhere, bro. We just had a pre-show about all nothing, but man, you better go ahead with that NASCAR bull.
You better get hit.
Marley, we were blindsided, Marley. We were blindsided.
Right? By a bunch of left-hand turns.
Actually, today features quite a bit of right-hand turns as they are in Watkins Glen Road Course for the second race of the first round of the playoffs. Welcome to the show, everybody. Of course, we are your hosts, Mark, Max, and Marley. We are going to get into some of the college football games that happened on Saturday. So, of course, Max, I will let you take that away, sir. What you got for us on a college football Saturday that you enjoyed yesterday?
Okay, so I think the first one I want to bring up is the Georgia and Kentucky game.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game right here kind of opens up a lot of eyes for this season because you have these games early on. And obviously, you know, when you win them, it doesn't matter if you only won them by 1 or by 7 or by what. Even if it was ugly, you win these tough early games on the road. That just gives you confidence, builds your swagger up for the season, helps you build on the momentum you have and carry it throughout the season to where if you're the losing end of this and that makes you 1-2 or 1-1 or whatever, you how many games you played it up to this point, it kind of makes you go back to the drawing board, right? Especially if the first few weeks haven't been too good, you've been struggling either offensively or defensively, or struggling running the game, or struggling throwing the ball consistently downfield and across the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, maybe you still struggled mightily to do that, and that's what hurt you to lose today again. And now you've got to basically go back to the drawing board, right? Like the Georgia-Kentucky game today was kind of like the LSU-South Carolina game, in my opinion, in terms of it's not like it's super important, but it's not like the end of the world because of the expanded playoffs now, right? Like you can, if LSU was to lose and go 1-2, but then they win out the rest of their games, right? Beating Alabama, beating Ole Miss, beating Oklahoma, beating all these other teams, then you're sitting at what 10-2, 8-2, something like 10-2 in the regular season if you went out, even if you would have lost to them.
Yeah.
So you're still probably in the playoffs. You beat everyone else, Alabama, Ole Miss, win the SEC or whatever. You're in the playoffs at 10-2.
Sure.
But these games are big in terms of building your team's confidence and getting your team mentally locked in to continue to do what they need to do, right? Kentucky, I gotta give Kentucky their props, man. I did not think this was going to be a good game. Like, look, I didn't think it was just going to be like a 42-7 blowout. Like, I knew Kentucky it's an SEC game, right? There's 2 SEC programs.
Like, if this was last year's Kentucky team, you would think that it would have been a game like this, right?
Absolutely. And Kentucky, hey, they gave them everything they could handle, man. Carson Beck looked not like the Carson Beck we've seen. The Georgia's offense the last few weeks compared to today did not look like the same offense. But like I said, that's just playing a better defense. That's playing an SEC team that has other NFL talent across the roster as well. So I got to give Kentucky some love there, man. I think that makes me think they're going to be a little better maybe than what a lot of people's projecting. I know they're sitting at 1-2 right now, but hey, you play a team that ain't lost in 2 years that close when you're a 21.5-point dog, like even if it's at home, like you know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. Is it so You were probably going to get to this in a minute, but as far as Georgia goes, do you think that this is like a wake-up call for them to show that they are not completely invincible? Or do you think it's closer to now the other teams on the rest of their schedule think that they have a shot at beating Georgia now or
I
keeping a
think it
close
could be
game?
so I think it could be a little bit of both. Now, every team, of course, every team is coaching and preaching to their team in practice and leading up to the game and in pregame speech and even in the halftime speech. We can beat them. They're not better than us. Who says they're better than us besides all the naysayers, all the media, all the haters? We can do this, right? Lock in. No one's better than us. We've got this. Blah blah. Of course, that's coach speak, right? But I think it really does, though, from like a team's perspective, and more so probably from a fan's perspective, but also I guess from the teams that watches, like maybe they ain't as indestructible as we thought they are. Maybe they do have big holes and weaknesses that we can exploit. Maybe they do have things that they also have to get better at. I don't think this is a dominant Georgia team we've seen the last 2 years. I think this is still a very, very good Georgia team. I think this is still a very, very good Georgia team that can win the national championship. It's just that's how they've recruited since Kirby Smart got there. They just replaced 5-star with 5-star, 4-star with 4-star.
Even though half their recruits are in jail right now, so
absolutely. That will say that's another thing. That's off topic, but we will get to that. The reckless driving, all the bad driving incidents of the last 3 months, even really years, needs to be addressed. But from a pure football perspective, I do think that we saw some things from Georgia today that makes you think, you play a Texas, you play a Ohio State, you play a team like that. Maybe you don't get away with that against like Kentucky, who breaking in, a new offense basically with a new quarterback. And I mean, Kentucky's always been a team that's never just had a super electric offense every single year. They've always been kind of more defensive minded in terms of, what their goals are.
But they're also not just a basketball school either.
Absolutely. I that was a good game. I think that's I think you could take away positives for both teams to build on for the season. Of course, if you're Kentucky, you're like, man, you're that close. You lose by 1 point to the number one team in the country who ain't lost in 2 years. Like, you're gonna feel some type of way. But you got to look at that, keep your head high, and say, hey, we took them boys to the dog shed. Like they gonna remember us. I promise you, they did not want to play another quarter with us.
Well said.
But,
absolutely.
Georgia's going to be fine, I think. Moving on, quick recap of the UCF TCU game. It was 21-7 at halftime. TCU. UCF came back and won 35-34.
Wow.
Just moving along here to another one I want to mention, Colorado State and Colorado. Of course, the drama and BS between those two since, Coach Prime got there last year. Travis Hunter getting hit, kind of dirty, but maybe not intentionally, and got knocked out the game. Colorado ended up winning. And then this year, the whole offseason, of course, all the drama with the coaches, the players, just social media also kind of instigating it, but I mean, that's social media, right? They're just going to post what
facts,
you say.
Bro.
And if someone sees it, it's just what it is. But Colorado came and took care of business, man. 28-9. They did their thing. Travis Hunter actually got to play the whole game. And I mean, he absolutely balled out, bro. Over 100 yards receiving. He had 2 touchdowns. He had an interception and he had a pass breakup. I mean, like I said, if he stays healthy and he gets 100 to 80 to 100 yards receiving a game with a couple touchdowns and make plays on defense, an interception, a fumble recovery, couple pass breaks up, just a wow play every game, he's gonna win the Heisman. Like, look, Shedeur Sanders, Carson Beck, Quinn Edwards, Jalen Milroe, all of them are absolutely doing disgusting things. They're all putting up really good numbers.
I think this game hurt
But
Carson
we have
Beck.
seen these before, right? We have seen these gaudy numbers from quarterbacks before that win the Heisman just because they touch the ball like every single play. Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, not Bryce Young, Devontae Smith. Like, you see all these people put up these gaudy numbers.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter is doing it on both sides of the football.
Consistently
both sides
every
of the
week.
football.
Yeah.
The last guy to win the Heisman was Charles Woodson. Guess what? He played both ways, but not like this. He did not go out there and play receiver the entire drive down the field and then come out and do it then their entire next drive. Then he wouldn't also go out there and play defense that same drive after that one. All he did was play defense, kick and punt returns, and then a little receiver here and there in gadget plays, like maybe 5 or 6 snaps a game at receiver, maybe more. I could be wrong. It was a little bit before my time, but from my recollection, from looking at his stats and just how he played, that's how a gadget player on offense. That's how they used him.
Is Travis Hunter, Shohei Otani in college football terms?
Yes, absolutely. 1000%. There's no debate about it. I'm not saying he's Shohei Otani, of course, but on his level, college football, not the NFL, because he's not there yet. On his level, his professional level, he is absolutely 1000%. You can say that he's Shohei Otani. There's no one doing it at both levels as high as he is in college football.
And I could see it happening already. Like he's going to go to the NFL, of course. I'm sure he's going to be a first round draft pick, obviously. But so then they're going to probably make him choose a position. He might get thrown in early to do a little bit of both. But like after one thing happens and he only plays one position, the narrative is going to be like, oh, he couldn't play both positions in the pros. And like, that's absolutely crap. Like he's so good that I think that no matter what he ends up doing in the NFL, he's going to be pretty damn good at it. I just hate how people come out like that and say that stuff.
I will say this is the thing about playing both ways. I think either way, he definitely needs to gain some more weight. He's got a good frame. He's like 6'1", 6'2", 6 foot, something like that. But
yeah, that'll happen.
He's like lanky. He's very lanky. He just needs, I think, add a little more weight to his frame. But I think if you draft him and say, hey, you're going to be a receiver, or hey, you're going to be a defensive back,
they'll tailor his body for that.
You can have an all-pro at either one. I mean, you look at his ball skills on offense, but then you turn around and look at it on defense. It's insane that it's like Trevon Diggs, right? Trevon Diggs has really insane ball skills. He may not be the best corner necessarily, gives up a good bit of yards, gives up catches, gives up touchdowns, but he gets a lot of turnovers. He's always making a play on a ball. If it's a 50-50 ball, more times he might come down with that than the receiver is. That's Travis Hunter. But I think Travis Hunter has the ability to develop more into a more technical corner, like be a more sound corner, be more physical at the line, reroute receivers and do your thing. But and this is just my opinion again, like I said, if he can play both, good for him. If he only plays one, good for him. I think he can make way more money at receiver. And the reason I say that is just like I said, you throw the ball in his general direction, he's gonna make a play on it.
Yeah.
He's got the leaping ability. He's got his route running needs to get a little better. I will say that his route running ain't bad, but at the next level, it definitely needs to get a lot better when you're playing a lot better corners like a Sauce Gardner, like a Jalen Ramsey, like a Jaire Alexander, like a Patrick Surtain, someone that has been doing this for years at the elite of the elite levels and can read your hips, can read your eyes, and know what you're going to do and just stay with you, right? Especially if your route tree isn't that good.
Right.
But Travis Hunter is just athletically one of the best football players I've seen in the last few years. Like he's just a baller, dude. Like he just balls. I can't wait to see what he does.
Me too.
Moving on. Not too many more to cover. Utah beat Utah State in their rivalry game. Cam Rising might be out the entire season. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Which is big. 'Cause I have Utah in the college football playoffs this year and part of my parlay, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. Notre Dame blew out Purdue. That was a sleeper of a game. Tulane and Oklahoma, dude. I'm telling you, Tulane keeps their program they've been built that program to stay at I'm gonna say like an elite level, but at a consistent level of as a group of 5 team can make the playoffs every year. Dude, I mean, Oklahoma won 34-19. I'm not saying that it was crazy, but when
Tulane,
you look at
Tulane
it, in the fourth quarter,
didn't surprise me.
In the fourth quarter, with 14 minutes left, Tulane got a pick 6 to make it 24-19. That was still a one possession. That's still a football game. 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's still a good game against a SEC top 15 team in the country. Now obviously Oklahoma came back later in the fourth, put the game away with a touchdown and a field goal. But I mean, you got to keep giving Tulane their credit, man. For the last few years, they have just been in a dogfight, and they have just been a very good, solid program.
Facts,
Texas A&M.
Facts.
Beats Florida 13-20. Florida continues to look terrible. They've been bad ever since Billy Napier got there. Apparently, there's going to be a board meeting with the people in Florida who makes the decisions in terms of firing and hiring. And
yeah, that's not looking good.
Seems like this may be Billy's last Sunday as a coach.
Especially now that Miami is starting to come back a little bit too. I'm sure that's getting that whole department pissed off there in Florida.
Boston College, Mizzou, top 25 matchup. Number 6, Mizzou holds off Boston College 27-21 at home to improve to 3-0. Missouri continues to look good, man. They continue to do their thing.
Yeah.
They continue to make a statement. But I got to give Boston College some love as well, man.
Both.
Getting ranked to start this season, going on the road, beating the top 10 Florida State, who obviously we know is not a top 10 team now, right? Like obviously Florida State is not really good.
But still, for
Then
them
you
to go
beat
in
the
there and win
crap
that
out of
game was good. Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely, it was. You beat Duskins 56-0, and then you go on the road to a top 10 team who returned a lot of talent from the year before and took them to the wire. I mean, took them to the wire. I mean, it was a very, very good game.
I was not surprised. I'm also very high on Missouri this year too. Going into the beginning of the season, I said Missouri is going to be one of those teams to look out for sure.
I think Boston College is a team that if they can recruit, they can hit the transfer portal really well to find needs. That they can be a team that can maybe turn into something in the ACC in a few years. What their head coach, he was the coach. His name's right on the tip of my tongue. He was the head coach for the Texans, and the GM.
Yeah, it's Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
It was right on the tip of my tongue. Bill
He's
O'Brien.
got that program sitting in pretty good spot
He's got
right now.
in the first year, he's building them back up. There's Kansas State, Arizona. That's the other game I wanted to touch on. That game was 7-7 after the first quarter, and then it was 14-7 after halftime, and then it just kind of went Kansas State's way.
I've learned over the years about Arizona to stay away from like betting on them or betting on their games because they swing so many different ways. I was fully expecting Arizona to come out and either win this game or at least cover the 7.5, and they didn't do any of that. I just think Arizona is like one of those weird teams every year.
Kansas State, dude, Avery Johnson had one heck of a game. He had 156 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He had 110 yards rushing. He had a game, man. But hey, on the Arizona side, McMillan, T. McMillan. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't want to butcher his name, my boy. You're too good for me not to butcher your name too much.
I got
11 catches, 138 yards. This dude is going to be an animal in peace at the next level. Let me tell you about this. 6'5", 212 pounds.
Dang.
He's got speed. He's not a burner. Like, he's not just like a
you hear that, Marley?
4-2 guy.
No, that's a build. That's a build.
When it comes to going up and getting the football, especially in the red zone, those back shoulder fades, just those jump balls, he's winning those probably 60% of the time.
Balls. Nice.
He is a animal at the point of attack. He goes up with those hands, he's getting that football more times than not. It sucks he's on Arizona. Not saying they're not a good team and that, he don't need to be there, but like, dude, just imagine seeing him on a team that's competing for a national championship. Imagine seeing him getting, those 2-3 extra games for the playoffs or conference championship or whatever it may be. Like, watch out for him this year in the draft. Like I said, I think he's going to go first round, and I think he's going to make a team very, very happy early on. But I think that's pretty much going to wrap up college. Touch on the LSU game real quick. Back and forth dogfight. LSU obviously still has a lot of stuff to work on.
It was a great game.
Defense, like I said, the defense needs to continue to improve, which they have. I've already seen a better defense than I saw last year, just by effort, honestly, by coaching, by being where they need to be,
and finishing a game.
The defense is what it is, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, we've got the talent. Oh, we've got the talent." Well, we've had 2 different defensive coaches the last 2 years, and we're still having bad defense. At some point, the talent was overrated. Sometimes you overestimate the talent. Sometimes you think someone is better than they actually are.
Yep.
That's the terms of our defense. Our defense had talent, you thought, but we do have talent. I will say we do have talent, but some of them has been so overhyped and just it's ridiculous, right? Coaching can only make up for lost talent so much. We have better coaching this year by far. By far, we have better coaching. But the talent still as a whole is still not there. It's just pieces here and there talented that's just trying to hold a defense together. We still need way more depth on the defensive line. Not only that, but quality depth, not just extra bodies that's just going in for a few snaps.
Some depth that I haven't seen in a long time.
And make plays.
Right. I'm not used to seeing that not having a good depth in LSU on the defensive line in a while.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Our running game also before this had been non-existing. Like, excuse me. Ever since Jaden Daniels left, everybody was like, how are they going to run football? How are you going to run the football? Because last year we kind of struggled running the football when it wasn't him running the football. And it's been ugly this year, dude. Like, our offensive line is struggling running the football, and I don't understand that. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's because now we're doing way more pulling with the tackles and stuff than what we used to do, and they're still not used to it. If the running backs just aren't used to being that patient kind of one cut and go back, because that's kind of what this offense is.
I saw that
It's
too.
kind of predicating on a running back being a little patient,
One cut.
making those jump cuts, and then getting vertical in a hurry. Kind of like those old Pittsburgh Steelers offense with Le'Veon Bell, right?
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, he could do everything. Don't get me wrong. He could be shifty. He could have power, but it was predicating on him getting the football, putting his hand on the back of a pulling offensive lineman, and being patient and kind of following
he's
him till he
looking
gets that hole,
for his
making a
exit.
jump cut, and then going 40 yards for a touchdown, because he made that jump cut that made him get that extra outside leverage
Sure.
and burn somebody.
Sure.
That's what I think this offense is predicating on. It's also the old Houston Texans offense when they had Arian Foster there.
Mhm.
Arian Foster was on a stretch, run that outside zone stretch, and then he makes that cut back inside, right about where the left guard or center would be, where there's a hole now because the defense may be over pursued.
Yeah, man.
That's what he's very good at. That's what I feel like you have to do in this offense. And unfortunately, Caleb Jackson is 235-pound bruising running back who just isn't a jump cut back. Like if there's an opportunity for the play to be flowing this way, and then you can jump cut back this way because the linebackers over pursued, you know what I mean? And they didn't just kind of fill a hole. Caleb Jackson can't do that as quickly and as often because he's 235 pounds. He's a run through your face type of guy.
Right.
Josh Williams, again, he can. He's got a lot. He's got quick feet. He's got good reflexes. He's got good spin moves. But he's also just he's older, man. He's a 5th-year senior. He's been here for this long. Not saying he's not good, but he's just the talent isn't crazy. But the freshman Caden Durham the other day, 11 touches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged almost 9 yards a carry.
I think they need to get him the ball a little more.
That is who they need to get the ball. He needs 15 touches a game. He needs 15 touches a game every single game. He is our best running back. Just watching. Our running game was non-existent until he started getting carries. Now we have a good running game. This dude's speed is ridiculous.
I get respectful.
He was a track star. He was a track star in high school.
I get respectful South Carolina defense too. Yeah.
He's very, very fast, man. He's very fast. His balance is very, very good. You've seen a lot of times he got hit, kind of would stumble but catch himself and keep going, like Alvin Kamara does, right? Alvin Kamara is very, very good and in tune with his balance in terms of getting hit and not losing his feeding. I'm excited for Caden Durham, man. I think he's going to be very special. I think we need to feed him the ball more. Garrett Nussmeier needs to continue to improve his pre-snap reads and his post-snap reads.
Yes.
He made a bad throw yesterday that just was. You can't defend it. The defense, the safety dropped down like he was going to rush. And then when the snap happened, he immediately bailed back to the right corner where Kyron Lacy was on a little back shoulder throw. And Garrett Nussmeier, the safety was damn near almost in the zone before he even threw the ball. And he's still looking and he just threw the football anyways. Like, you've got to see that. You've got to know, I can't make that throw.
Yeah, man.
But some other things positives. Aaron Anderson. Big breakout game from him. 5 catches, 96 yards, average 20 yards a catch. That's what I wanted to see. He was a 5-star receiver here in Louisiana. He went to Alabama for 1 year his freshman year, then he transferred back to us last year. I love to see them getting him more involved this year. He's a very, very good receiver, very shifty. But South Carolina, man, you've got to give them their credit, dude. Honestly, they showed up and showed out. Their fans showed up and showed out. Honestly, they may have beat us if their quarterback did not get hurt. Their starting quarterback got hurt, went out of the game. Before he left, he had 88 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns and 113 passing yards. Like, their offense was doing their thing. For Rocket Sanders, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns on 19 carries. Again, their running game, they didn't really throw on us well. We defended the pass really well. Obviously some of that also is because their quarterback hurt and Robbie Ashford had to come in, and he's not a really good passing quarterback.
Sure.
But they didn't have to, honestly.
It made them one-dimensional.
The football on us.
Right.
They just they knew it's like when you play Madden or NCAA with somebody, right? And you start playing with them and you notice that you're getting 5-6 yards of carry and they can't stop it. Well, why would you throw the ball and risk an interception when you can just run it down their face? Or when you're not running it well, but you're getting 5, 6, 7 yards of a catch, or you're getting deep bonds pretty often, why would you stop throwing the football on them? You know what I mean? They can't stop it. It was kind of that same sense. South Carolina was just running it down our throats, and we could not stop it. But, hey, the defense did what they had to do. They held South Carolina to a long field goal attempt. They missed it. We won by 3 on the road to a very, very tough South Carolina team. I'll take it, man. It's going to be a rocky season, man. Look, I didn't want to say that. I was hoping year 3 this was going to be the year we kind of win, 10 games in the regular season, make the playoffs, and that's still very much in front of us. That very is. We're still the number 16 team in the nation. We're still all our stuff is in front of us. But we've got to improve offensively in the run game. We've got to improve offensively in third down play calling. We've got to start taking more deep shot with these great receivers we have. We are not taking them as often as early as we did last season or even the season before. Defense, we need to be better. Our linebackers need to be better filling their gaps in the run game. They have got to stop over pursuing, and they've got to let the play develop naturally. They've got to stop over pursuing. They've got to stop letting them trick their eyes. The defensive backs, I like to see them be a little more physical. They still seem like they're playing a little soft. They don't seem like they're getting their hands on them. They're still letting these receivers go up and win these 50-50 balls. I want to see them be more physical. I want to see them on those 50-50 balls punch at that ball. Do not let that receiver. I don't care if you don't come down with it.
Yeah,
Do
little
not let
details
receiver
like
come
that
down with
matter.
football.
Little details
Yes,
like that matter.
do not let that receiver come down with that football. You fight until y'all both hit the ground, and even then you continue to fight because he has to control the catch through the contact of the ground.
Play through the whistle.
Fight and fight and fight until you get the ground to not let him catch that ball. I've been seeing them go up and let these guys make catches on balls that is not contested well enough.
Well said. That was another great college segment for you, Max. Appreciate it.
Absolutely,
I was loving your insight on college. NFL, boys. Here we go. All right, open discussion for the first part. Go ahead, Marley. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who won the backyard brawl yesterday, Pitt or West Virginia?
What is it?
That's a good question.
Backyard. Who won between Pitt and West Virginia? Last time I seen Pitt was winning.
The backyard brawl, Pittsburgh won 38-34.
Let's go, baby.
Nice. Little round of applause for you.
I could not get that game. I was so pissed. I was trying to watch college football for once in my life yesterday because nothing else was on. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the boys. I'm gonna watch some NCAA football. CBS, you were fucking up because I tried to watch Purdue and Notre Dame. That was a wash.
Purdue.
But yeah, no. Horrible game for Purdue.
How is it? It's look. This is every time Marley turns on a football game, it's a blowout. He turned on the national championship game with Georgia and TCU, and it was a 65-7 blowout.
All right, I'll give it a shot, and it was a blowout.
Then he turns on Notre Dame and Purdue, and it's a 66-7 blowout. Like what the crap?
I don't know, man. Just pick which game you want to be a blowout, and I'll go watch it, and y'all can get that money, baby. Yeah.
One of us bet one team, the other bet the other team minus 37.5. And just see who wins.
One of us is gonna do it right.
Yeah, exactly. We just lay down $10 a piece. We got this, baby. We're making money. Yeah.
Biggest week 1 surprise from you, gentlemen. Open discussion.
Biggest week 1 surprise.
Yeah. What surprised you the most from week 1 of the NFL season?
The Patriots beating the Bengals at home.
Yeah, I can see that.
That was like, yeah, the Patriots are dog meat.
We all took the Bengals too, so.
Yeah.
I know.
That was definitely.
Yeah, the Bengals usually start slow. For me, it was more or less like I didn't even think the Patriots were capable of scoring 16 points in a game this season. Max, what is your biggest week 1 surprise that comes to mind?
My biggest week 1 surprise. I'd probably say honestly, I'll also go with the Patriots game. I'll go with how bad the Bengals look, though. I'm not going to go with good Patriots look. I'm going to go with how bad the Bengals look. Now, I know the last few years they've got started like 1-2 or 0-2, like the last 2 years in a row or something like that.
0-2, 1-2.
Yeah. They've always had a bad start, but I mean, like, it looks ugly, dude. Like that was ugly.
Week 1 against that bad of a team, and you can't score over 16 points on your home field.
He's
Like that was pretty ugly, man. I mean, when you have T. Higgins and you have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, like you're supposed to score more than 10
boy,
points.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
I think Burrow's more hurt than people think. I'll go ahead and say it.
I
Not to
guess-
defend the
I guess
guy.
we'll
I
see.
think he's still hurt. I think he's still hurt.
I mean, he couldn't so, fellas. You gotta understand. Remember, we were on vacation, walking around Pittsburgh. We were all talking football. It was hot as shit out, and we all mentioned Joe Burrow. He could not do a push-up in what, August? Wasn't that
No,
August?
that
that
was
we all went on
July.
vacation together?
Like middle of July.
July?
Yeah.
Middle July. I was there
yeah.
middle of July.
You couldn't do a push-up. You couldn't do a body movement, body weight. So how did you heal that fast?
And it's his hand too that's giving him problems. you know?
Yeah, it's not something else. You know what I mean? So yeah, good luck with that, bro. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
definitely something
Well,
we'll
hold
have
on a second.
to monitor.
How the hell did the Bengal defense not be able to hold a very under talented Patriot team? You know?
Not because I didn't watch the game. I was watching a little bit more of the Steelers and Falcons game because I thought that'd be a better game anyway. But my takeaway from it was a lot of it had to do with if you're not getting the field position, if your offense is struggling, your defense is gonna struggle a little bit too. So I think a lot of that had to do with situation. And you got to remember, like we talked about, like in the beginning of last week, like Cincinnati lost a few key players on the defensive side of the ball. Losing Jesse Bates to the Falcons, that was huge. That was the back end of their defense. And if they're not getting pressure up front with Trey Hendrickson, they're not a very good defensive football team this year, at least. So yeah, some good takeaways there, boys. There's no wrong answer. I just want to know what your guys' thoughts were on the week one. I think my biggest takeaway is, and again, I know this is just after 1 week. It's a long season, but just from initial reaction out of week one, I think the Chargers are going to be better than everybody thinks they are too.
We'll see today. They play the Raiders.
Yeah, and the Raiders always give them a problem. They've always been known to give them a problem. But as far as the Chargers go, I think I wasn't surprised. I won't be surprised if they make the playoffs solely on, Jim Harbaugh. But just the way that they looked like they were playing loose, they were having a lot of fun. It's something I haven't seen in a Chargers team in a long time. So that's what basically just surprised me, is I just think the Chargers have a little bit more talent than a lot of people will initially think too. So what else, guys? Before we make our game picks, we're going to talk about a couple of things, right? We want to get into Tua a little bit. I know we're going to get into that in the Thursday night game. Go ahead, Marley. I know you have some.
That right there. Like,
because we were in
everybody's saying
Discord watching that game.
Huh?
We were in Discord watching that game.
Yeah, that was a good Thursday night game to watch. It wasn't bad. Like, I was impressed. Like, the Dolphins looked very terrible. That wasn't a very good game for them, even before Tua got hurt. Like, he was not playing well. It just wasn't Tua. It's just like he was off his game. He wasn't doing what he should do. It was the start, like, just how many picks that he had, like 3 picks. And then honestly, my man, why are you leading with your head when you're running?
Not good.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and that stadium it's tough to play in. Like when we were watching the game where they're showing the kicker on the sidelines and he's full covered in sweat. The kicker. I mean, I know they warm up and they're doing stuff on the sideline too, but like, man, for him to be sweating that much, and then the Coach Mike McDaniels, he's wearing a hoodie on the sidelines. Like, bro, what are you doing? It's like 98% humidity.
Right.
Like,
he had those 3 interceptions were very, very bad. The slide thing too, like the thing is you already had the first down. Like you did not have to continue to like come forward like this just for 2 extra yards. Like go down, especially when you have a major history of severe concussions. You've been knocked out
like, homie, you didn't just
freaking times. Like, what are you doing, dude? You've got to be smarter than that yourself. Do you not care about yourself or your family over 2 yards?
If you're gonna run like that, you need to go back and ask your running back, like, yo, bro, how do you lead with your shoulder like you do so I don't knock myself out cold like I just did?
Exactly.
I went back. You're able to go back and watch that. You know, I went back and used my finger and I slow mode Damar Hamlin and him making contact. Damar Hamlin pulled up, seeing he was just kind of like he didn't pull up, but he didn't also, you know, lay into him.
Yeah. He didn't lay into him like he could have.
Right.
He could have easily just nailed Tua, like, and it would have been a clean hit because Tua's going down like this, and Damar Hamlin could have put his shoulder into it too and just said, but Damar Hamlin, his history, we all know, unfortunate, but, you know, he also said, you know, I'm not going to do this to myself either. and you know, and there you go.
Yeah.
You watch Tua's head just turn to the side, and that's when he was out cold before he even hit the ground. Yeah, and like Damar Hamlin even just kind of stood like the one dude you seen the other safety or cornerback come over and just kind of touch him, and they both knew he was out cold. Like they just
they were
left
both
him
like
be.
they were both waving to the sidelines like you got to come now.
He's doing this all of a sudden.
Bring
and
the
like,
cavalry. Yep.
like you said, Max, I understand the man is a competitor. I get it, but there's also a competitive nature to keeping yourself healthy, not, you know, being a damn vegetable by the time you're in your 30s. Like, homie, you can only have so many concussions where you're doing this shit out on the field. And like he was like literally reaching out at one point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. That's severe. Like your brain is doing shit that your body is not. Like that's in like your brain's only supposed to tell your ass to heartbeat and breathe.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like you tell yourself to walk. You tell your arms to go out. Like there's some head trauma going on in there, brother. And like what you gonna have CTE, homie. So what you gonna be? You know what I mean? You're gonna end up like
Antonio
AB
Brown.
or some wild shit like that in a couple years.
On a
like,
serious
come on,
note,
man.
yes. On a serious note, yes. Like that's
Yeah,
Like,
I 1000% believe Tua needs to retire. I mean, when you know, a few concussions over 7-8 years is still very, very, you know, serious and needs to be monitored. But the amount of like knockout concussions and convulsion concussions he's had over the last 3 years or 4 years is just insane, dude. Like
yeah.
long term health wise,
He had
brother.
2 in like a week. Come on,
He
bro.
needs to retire, man. You've got your money. You've made your millions. Your family is set for life, especially if you've been investing and doing other shit that people with money do.
Yep.
You're set. Take care of yourself, dude, because you don't want to be, you know, another 15 years and you can't remember what you had for breakfast. You don't want to have memories of your daughter's birthday party the day before and you can't remember what y'all did all day because it's bitter spots of memories. You don't want to not remember you playing football because you got hit and can't remember certain games because of concussions. This is your life you're talking about. This is
People
your
talk
life
about-
over a game. What are we talking about? You
Yeah.
don't know, you don't want to retire after your 7th concussion in 5 years that's knocked you out? Brother, at this point you're being selfish.
Tell me this much: anybody who got this fucking hurt at an everyday 9 to 5 job would not stay after this many injuries. You know what I mean? Like you got fucked up
Look
3
at
times
Andrew Luck.
the job. You're gonna
Look at
be
Andrew
chilling.
Luck. Look at Andrew Luck.
yeah, Andrew
Got
Luck.
broke.
Look at Andrew Luck. Look at Luke Kuechly. Look at not Brian Cushing. Look at the running back, the linebacker for the 49ers, Bowman, I think, Navarro Bowman. All these guys retired way before their prime was even close to being over because they realized this ain't worth it. My life after football is not worth being terrible because of football. I've made my millions. I will retire at 28, 29 years old as a millionaire and live the rest of my life healthy.
Denzel Ward is right in my backyard. Denzel Ward, he just had his 5th concussion, and he actually had his 5th one this year in training camp. And
you see them. So I don't know if you guys watched my. Because you said you watched my game, Matt. I don't know if you did or not. But you seen our one lineman? He's wearing the Guardian cap. It's like the extra little cushion foam.
Yeah,
thing now.
there's a few more of those popping up around every game, man.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's a good thing. The linemen especially, they have a lot of head contact right off the rip. You know, it's a lot of it's like 2 Rams. You know, just battering fucking. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, I'm a big fan of them. I
Well,
think if you know, I have no.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I think they should just implement it like league wide, like just make it a cover. Like I get it, like making the helmet bigger isn't really feasible because then you got all that weight on your head, like you can't really do that. But putting a a small foam cover to keep down like the initial like that
Impact. Yeah.
plastic on plastic hit. Like
Yeah.
I can tell you from playing football, that shit hurts.
Yes.
Like you get clipped in the face, Matt. Like you get right here as a running back constantly. That's all you take is those
Oh yeah.
just crushing. Like get
Well,
off my face, bro.
I'm glad you
I
brought
mean,
up
it's
the
like-
Guardian caps because so when Denzel Ward got his 5th concussion, he was wearing one of those. So they're not coming out and saying that these things are perfect, but I think they still help.
Well, here's the thing: you can't. It's not around your brain. It's not between your brain and your skull. So
Right.
that's the thing. That's
Right.
what causes a concussion. It's the the movement of the brain into the skull. Like you can't. There's brain fluid there, yeah, but like it's it's like a car crash. And and like the equivalent to a running back when they get hit by a linebacker or a cornerback, it's like the equivalent of a 35-mile-an-hour car crash every single time. Like you imagine the beating you take from that.
Yeah, man.
And then not to mention those defenders, like it's gonna still knock you out, but at least try to minimize it as best you can. And like it all depends on how they hit how the concussion happened. Like you go back, you fall down, and your head snaps, and your head hits the damn turf like that. That's a lot of like we watch guys. Like I hate when I see a quarterback get hit and their head slams back. I'm like, oh damn, man. Like I hope he's okay. Or like receivers all the time, constantly getting drugged down and their head just pow off the field. I'm like,
smacks the
oh, I
field.
hope he gets up.
Yep.
Like, cause that's like your whole rear of your brain just getting smushed into the back of your damn head. Your eyes probably you go back a little bit when that shit happens to
Yeah,
you.
man.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
damn, man. Like you're not gonna stop it. It's a part of the game. It's a violent game. It's always gonna be a violent game. It just you gotta try to minimize it and just in a way. And also like what you signed up for too, guys. Like unless you want to take this shit to flag football, this is gonna be a part of it. Just try to protect yourselves. Honestly, try to protect yourself as a player. Like don't put yourself in a position that he did. Like come on, man. If that had been somebody bigger than DeMar Hamlin, like if that had been a 260-pound linebacker
Or Josh
that
Allen
he ran
even
into like that, just getting straight up, just
ran over. Josh Allen, he would have probably been able because he likes to run a lot too, but he doesn't get hurt because he protects himself.
And then not only that, but like I said, you look at his size. What, 6'4", 6'5", 230, 240 pounds? I mean, when you're a big guy yourself, you can absorb more of those hits. I mean, you look at Cam Newton, excuse me. You look at Cam Newton. Who else? Who else is another quarterback? You look at Anthony Richardson. When Taysom Hill runs the football, you look at Taysom Hill. These guys know what they're doing with the football in their hand. They're used to tucking it, dropping that shoulder while keeping their head up and, not coming like this. They're coming like this with their shoulder first. Tua is this is what he's doing right here. This head is your eyes have got to stay up. You're taught early on in football, with developmental football when it comes to tackling. You're taught your eyes is always up. You never put your eyes down because that
Head up, neck up.
That's just broken. That's waiting to mess something up. Again, I hope Tua is fine, man. I hope he does get healthy. I hope this does not affect him as bad. But dude, he's. I don't.
But how
wanna
many
say this.
times
I don't want to say this, but he's a bad accident away, man, from not being the same person again.
And so
Like,
we've
he
been
really
doing this
needs
show 4 times.
He really needs to talk to his family and his coaching staff and his doctors and his team and think what long term is the best for him. Not that football team.
Yes.
That football team's gonna
Yes.
that football team's gonna been playing long before he was born. They're gonna be playing long after he's dead. You know what I'm saying?
And
They're
that's
gonna
what
go
I'm
give
saying.
another dude to give millions to. Think of your life and your family.
We've been doing this show for like 4 seasons now. How many times have we discussed this about Tua? About he's got to keep himself healthy. This is like the 3rd or 4th or 5th concussion he's had now, and he's got to seriously think about his future. Like this is just starting to become a repeat cycle for us on this show now, to be honest. So
he stayed pretty healthy last year until the end, I do believe, and then he got hurt again.
Yeah.
And once it wasn't another concussion.
Right.
So I mean, and now he just came back, and now he gets another one already week 1, or week 2. That's not good.
Yeah.
He's gonna be out for a while. Like you figure he's gonna be out for a few weeks. Like they're not gonna let him just come back in again. Like, and here's the thing too. At what point do the Dolphins not become liable for throwing this man back out there without him actually being like okay, oh, he's cleared concussion protocol, he's gonna start. Okay, I'm glad he's cleared concussion protocol.
Well, it's mutual.
But
This is what they sign up for. This is all in their contract and stuff. They're not liable for
I get
anything.
that, but okay, but how about like a couple more weeks then?
Yeah, they're not
And
just
then-
gonna throw him out there next week. He's already gonna be out for next week.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
out.
that-
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not out for like 2 games
Yeah.
just to be safe.
Yeah, that's a good question, though, Marley. I'm glad you brought that up because there is, and I could tell you already they are looking to sign a veteran. They are going to go with Skylar Thompson moving forward, who is not going to be the answer. That team's going to be in a little bit of trouble
Oh yeah.
now. I mean, they have a good running game, but they become a one-dimensional team now. Unfortunately
they
for us, who
definitely-
have Tyreek Hill, is not going to make out too well going forward either.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, guys. You ready for game picks?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's stay on the Thursday night game. The Dolphins were favored at home, 2.5 points. The Dolphins ended up winning. Marley took the Dolphins. Max, I'll give this one to you. We both took the Bills.
Wait, what?
I took
the Bills won, bro.
Yeah,
No, you said the Dolphins won.
the Bills won.
I know, but you said the Dolphins.
Yeah, I said you picked the Dolphins. Max and I took the Bills. And I said, I'll
Mhm.
give this one to you, Max, for not having your. You had your pick in on in time, but you had the read was just not. It was okay. Anyways, moving on. We took the Bills. The Bills won. I actually took the Bills on a straight money line bet because I was pretty confident in this game for the Bills to win. The Dolphins struggle against the Bills, and they proved that again, even in playing in Miami. So, Bills get the win. Dolphins lose. Let's get right into the 1 p.m. games. Starting today, Dallas Cowboys at home versus the New Orleans Saints. Both teams 1-0. Cowboys favored 6.5 points. The over/under 46.5. Marley.
Well, we'll go with the Cowgirls because they're at home. Jerry Land,
Yeah, their home opener. I'm taking the Cowboys as well. Keep an eye on the Saints a little bit this year. This has been a team that's been always kind of a struggle in the history of the show, picking their games. I
They're a
would
pain in the
not
ass.
be surprised if they keep this pretty close to the end. I'm taking the
Oh, it
Cowboys.
ain't gonna be a beating. I'm gonna say that because look what the Saints come out and put up 40 points last week.
Yeah, they play the Carolina Panthers, but still.
I mean, I
That's a
get it,
division
but damn,
game.
it's still.
Right.
I mean, still though. You know what I mean? Damn, you put up 40 points.
Yeah,
like,
they'll be able
you
to
can-
move the
you
ball.
got- You can do some shit.
Max.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
know.
the Cowboys here at home, and I actually like them to cover. When you look at both teams, right, the Saints were dominant at home against a very, very bad Carolina team, and the Cowboys were very dominant on the road against a very good Browns team. That's what I think one of the bigger differences is. I don't trust Derek Carr. That's it is what it is. Derek Carr had the game of his life against the Panthers. That's what that was. We're going to see the real Derek Carr again today, and we're going to see the reason why Saints fans since the draft has been screaming for Spencer Rattler to be QB1. You're going to see it. Don't worry.
Right.
You're about to see it today. And if he doesn't, hey, I'll eat my words. I will say, hey, you proved me wrong, buddy. You was right, Derek Carr. You're him. But that's not going to happen. He's about to get cooked today. He's not going to do it. He is not the same guy anymore, bro. I'm sorry. He's not the same guy anymore. His aura is just all whack. He has zero, dude. They're going to go to Dallas World today or Dallas World Jerry's World today, and the Cowboys are going to put a beating on them.
I got a little bit ahead of myself too. Our updated pick standings, like I like to read these off before we start them. Max and Marley, you both are tied at 8-6 from last week, and I went 10-4. Also, I think I like doing this, so I've been going back and looking. Week 2 in the history of Peace of Mind Sports Podcast with our game picks records. Are you ready? So last week I had the past 3 years. This week 2, I was able to pull up the last 2 years. So in week 2 history, I went 6-9, and then last year I went 10-5. Max 2 seasons ago went 8-7, and then 9-6. And then Marley last season went 7-8 in week 2. And I think that what that says is it's obviously really too early to tell with these games early in the season.
Week
So
1 bullshit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Week 1 bullshit. Patriots beating the Bengals. Hell out of here.
Moving on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. Both teams 1-0. Lions favored 7.5 points in this game, over under 51.5. Marley.
That's just because they're at home. I'm gonna take the Lions at home. I think the Lions. You know what I mean? Like, I know the Buccaneers, blah 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 blah, but no, not happening. The Lions at home aren't gonna let this. No, they're gonna be a team to reckon with. The pack. They know now that the Packers are out because Jordan Love's out, so they ain't gonna have to fight them for the division this year. So they're just gonna have to
At least
fight
for a
against
few
the,
weeks. Right.
the Bears and the Vikings, and that's not that difficult. So I think the Lions come out and take it away today.
Max.
That's a little big for me. I think the Bucs are better than what a lot of people think. I
Yeah.
think they play teams tough as well. I still like the Lions though here at home. I am going to take the Lions, but I think the Bucs can make some noise.
I'm taking
I mean, no, the Bucs is alright, but yeah, I mean, not against the Lions at home. That's a hard stadium to go up into and play. That's a dome. They're gonna be loud up there. I think was that the Detroit's home opener?
No, they played at
Same.
home last week too against the Rams.
Yeah, but still, you get 2 games at home, and they're both 1-0. They're gonna come in there screaming. Yeah, the D's coming back, maybe. The D's
Yeah,
coming back.
it's becoming a little bit of a tougher place to play, respectfully, around the NFL. I went back and forth in this game. One of my favorite bets of the week. I do have the Buccaneers covering the 7.5 for -110. So like that's pretty good. Lions money line really scares me. -370. Like that's pretty much like guaranteeing that the Lions. I mean, there's no guarantees in betting or in these games, but that's pretty much saying the Lions are gonna pretty much win this game. So I am taking the Lions, but like you said, Max, I think Tampa Bay is for real. I know the last time Baker and the Buccaneers played Detroit, it was in Tampa, and the Lions gave him fits. They have a pretty solid defense that's going to be able to bat down some of Baker's balls that he still has problems with. And even though Baker and them played against the Washington Commanders defense, I still think that this team has a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, especially. I am just very curious to see how their defense does against the Lions. And I think it's going to say quite a bit after this game to see how their defense does against the Lions offense. That is pretty good too. So I'm taking the Lions here slightly over the Buccaneers. Moving on, we're going to go to my game. All right. The Browns travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars.
Not today, sir.
The Jaguars are favored 3, over under 41.5. Now, Marley, before you get to your game pick, I know I'm not going to change your mind, and I'm not trying to be biased here or anything. Just going off the stats, I just want to get into some tidbits that Max likes to say as well. All right, under the Kevin Stefanski era, he has never lost a game against the AFC South. Deshaun Watson has also never lost a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, that has obviously been since the last time he played them in 2020. But the Browns took one of the 5 quarterbacks. I don't even remember which one played in this game. I think Flacco was playing by then. Yes, he was. And they absolutely destroyed the Jaguars last season. But I will say in this game, big trouble for my Cleveland Browns. But I will say that they came out, and from what I was hearing and what I was reading and everything, they still feel pretty good. Nobody really seemed too down in the locker room. Guys, it's a long season. They could turn around and win. And like I've said on this show many times, go out and win today and then worry about next week. If they lose, we're still spiraling out of control anyway. So figure out to try and find a way to win this game. It's a very talented Jaguars team. They're at home. There's going to be a lot of Browns fans there anyway. But the season's not over. It was 1 week. Now let's go see what happens. That's all I have to say about it. Go Browns. All right? We'll see. Marley.
Talk to me when you have Nick Chubb back in the lineup.
Yep. Because they don't have any running. They don't have any running game.
Talk to me whenever your quarterback isn't causing complete turmoil.
On and off
no
the
one
field.
knows if that fool's going to have the Fabib walk in the damn locker room and take your ass out in handcuffs for some dumb shit. The league might suspend you. You know what I mean? Because they're like, and then you got players looking around the locker room going, "This motherfucker over here making $300 million a year."
Supposedly, they all still have his back. They're all coming out and saying, well, I mean, they're not going to say that they don't, but.
And then, come on, bro. Like, yeah, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't. Like, I get it. Yeah, you're gonna be a good teammate and all that shit. But at the end of the damn day, I want to see them private text messages between them players, what they're really talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, this fool over here getting paid all this money, and now we don't even know. Like, bro, it's like it ain't just his career; it's the whole damn team. Like, man, you got dudes that aren't getting checks cut because this fool got a big ass check cut.
Do I
And he gonna be
actually?
eating money for years.
Do I have a few seconds to explain this to you? This has been surfacing, of course, now that he hasn't been playing well. Imagine if he came out and they won last week. I bet you a lot of this stuff wouldn't have been going on right now. But
It still would be going on, bro. Because it doesn't
Yeah,
matter
but it
if
would-
he wins or loses. He's still gonna have these scandals come out, man.
Yes,
Like
I know.
that's the fucking problem.
But what I
And,
was
like,
gonna
they
say
split it-
before
What?
before the scandals started coming out, there was an article that came out. Remember, he was going to leave the game of football. He didn't want to play for the Houston Texans anymore. He was actually contemplating retirement. And this kind of stuff is starting to surface again now. That he's, his desire to play the game. And I kind of saw a little bit of that last week. Just like that look on his face. He didn't seem frustrated. He didn't seem like he felt bad. He felt like it was like he wasn't even there. Like his body, he was physically there.
His head while he got some fan behind him screaming some dumb shit. Yeah,
Well, that'll start to weigh on you too. There's a lot of factors that are going
into. I'm
into.
saying, bro, like, he's on social media. Like, come on, man. We all know how much some shit can weigh on your head. Imagine what something like he's like. Here's the thing. He did this all to himself.
Yeah.
He did this all to, man. You're in the spotlight. You're an NFL athlete, okay, bro. And then, not to mention, my man, did you really just lie on your contract?
Yeah.
So now, they might not have to pay your ass.
Because this person's saying that we tried to reach out to you 6 months ago about your car's extended warranty. This person's saying that they didn't know about it, but the contract says if they didn't know about it and this is something new that they don't have to pay them, and then it all just. I'm just trying to watch football, man. This is week 2, and I'm ready.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Pizzle. Here's what I'm getting at, then, bro. They need to, you know what they need to do? Here's what the Browns need to do. Take the L again. Sorry, take the L once again with your quarterback situation. Bench his dumb ass. Put the new guy in and go. Say the hell with this guy. We'll go pay you your money, whatever the hell it is. We ain't gotta play you though. We don't have to play you.
Right, because the fans don't pay
know
him.
if you're gonna be here. We can't have this bullshit of non-competing out here as a shell of a quarterback that once used to be wasn't gonna be elite ever again. And then now, so until you get your run game back, bro, till your quarterback situation's fixed, Browns are taking the L, buddy.
I'm not having any fun. This is week 2. I'm not having any
No,
fun.
you're not, bro.
You
Just
see
like I
how much
wasn't
fun I
having
had
any
last
fucking
season?
fun last year.
I had
wasn't
so
having any
much
fucking
fun.
last year, bro. I had to watch Mitch Trubisky's stupid ass, Mason Rudolph's dumb ass, Kenny Pickett come out here and shit all over the place. The only thing that kept us in the damn games last year was my defense and my run game. Love it, baby. You know?
Max.
Jaguars.
I know.
Oh yeah, the Jaguars, by the way.
Oh, I already wrote you down for the Jaguars last week, bro.
So anything else, like Max is just sitting there quiet as shit. He's like,
No, he knows. I mean, I know the show doesn't know a lot of what Max has been saying, but he's been pretty consistent about what he's been saying too. And there was nothing that happened last week that he's not. And there's nothing new that he has to discuss about. We pretty much covered a lot of things. We've been talking a lot of off and on off the show too. To go up between the three of us, there's really nothing to be said. There's really nothing else that he can say that is going to change the situation that either the Browns are in or about this game.
It's until Deshaun Watson shows he's fucking worth $300 million, the Browns are going to suck. I'm sorry. It is, especially without Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb carried Deshaun Watson and that team on his back since he's got there. Deshaun Watson continues to have allegations after allegation after allegation after allegation. When at what point, as a logical, thinking, caring human being, do you think maybe this piece of shit is guilty? This is 40 fucking assault charges. Surely they ain't all lying. Surely they ain't all lying. They ain't all lying. They ain't all just fucking saying he's doing this freaky ass shit and going in detail of all this freaky ass shit just to lie about it. I'm sorry. So he may not be guilty of all of it, but he's guilty of something. And the fact that he's making $300 million and playing quarterback when any normal person would be in jail or under the jail by now
On a talented team.
And
that's where I'm at.
Getting to me. And it's just getting to me as well because at this point, I'm sick of celebrities getting away with shit because they make $300 million, because they make $200 million. The dude should not be playing football right now. He should be in prison, is where he should be. I'm over this, and the fact that and it's like I said, I'm tired of seeing people defending. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing people defend this man. If you want to defend his football, defend his football. He ain't played in this, blah 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 blah. But I don't want to hear about, well, the Browns have to do this because of him, because of they made their own problems when they gave a guy with 20 sexual assault allegations $300 million. That's whenever the whole fractured of it, everything started happening. Again, I see why they made the move. I see why. I didn't, like I said, I had no say if about it. Whatever team wanted to sign him, we was going to talk about the football side of it. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Let whatever happens in the court and the proceedings and all that play out. If we want to talk about it, we can. But the thing is, and it will be the problems with the Browns, as long as Deshaun Watson will be there, it will never just be about football. Your days of just football are dead, and it died the day you gave Deshaun Watson $300 million.
You know me, I listen to talk radio for 8 hours a day while I'm on my route. I literally I cut it off. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just the same. It was the same. We weren't talking football. We weren't talking about breaking down the game and this, that, and a third. We were talking about Deshaun Watson. Man, I'm tired of hearing about him, dude. I'm tired of it.
That's all it's going to be. And honestly, and in my aspect and my point, if I was a Browns fan, whatever you have to do, get rid of Deshaun Watson. I do not care if you bring Josh Rosen in to be my quarterback and we go 0-15.
We have Jameis Winston on our bench. You know how much
I would rather lose with a quarterback that is not taking away the football aspect and making it completely about him and his problems and his dirty shit all day over winning 7-8 games and constantly hearing about Deshaun Watson every single week about what he's doing off the field.
You saw how much the Browns rallied around Joe Flacco and loved Joe Flacco. Do you know what this town would do if Jameis Winston came out and started winning football games for this team? Not to say that he was the answer, but
he's cooked. In my opinion, he's just cooked. Until he proves otherwise, until the Browns offense can prove otherwise, I'm gonna bet against them probably the rest of the season.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Or someone else, because I tried last year with Deshaun Watson. I always picked the Browns here and there, thinking, oh, he just needs another week, this and that. He's bad. He's not the same football player. It's obvious the stuff off the field has been distracting him and distracting the football team. And like I said, at some point, the owner needs to step up and say, enough is enough. I don't care if it's $300 million. I'll give you whatever you want to get the hell off my team.
And I think I don't want to say the Browns have bigger problems because there's not a bigger problem than Deshaun Watson on this team right now. But losing Bill Callahan as their offensive line coach is going to be a big problem for this team this year. And that's not going to help either. Their offensive line is, even with the same 3-4 players that they've had consistently for the past few years, this scheme, this run scheme that they've been doing right now, and the pass blocking has been absolutely terrible. And I know they came out and they played a solid Dallas Cowboys team, but there was a lot of things that I saw after week 1. All right, moving on. The Raiders, 0-1, traveled to Baltimore to take on a pissed-off Ravens team favored by 8 points. I'm taking the Ravens. Anybody want the Raiders? I'm taking the Ravens.
No.
Marley?
No, I'm taking the Ravens.
Cool. Jets, Jets favored 4 points on the road to take on a surprisingly decent defensive Tennessee Titans team. Both teams 0-1, over under 41.5. Marley.
Jets.
I'm taking the Jets in a nail biter. Max.
Yep, I'm going to take the Jets as well.
Low scoring game, you think? Or do you think Rodgers gets his a little bit this game?
I think we're going to see a little bit of offense, but I still think both offenses have some kinks they need to work out.
1-0, San Francisco 49ers favored 4.5 points, up to pretty much 5.5 now. On the road, taking on the Minnesota Vikings, who are 1-0 after destroying the Giants. 46.5, the over-under.
49ers. It was easy dub.
Yeah, I think the 49ers are going to take it, and I think they're going to cover as well. I think, Christian McCaffrey being out absolutely sucks, but as you can see with Kyle Shanahan's scheme, any running back can do really well with that offensive line and those playmakers around them. Give me the 49ers by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I got
Vikings-
Debo on my fantasy team. He's pretty damn nice.
Vikings also without Jordan Addison again for this week. 1-0 Chargers favored 5 points on the road, taking on Carolina. 0-1 Panthers. 39.5 is the over/under. I'm taking the Chargers. Go Bolts.
Who's not taking the Chargers in this game? The Panthers are absolutely mean.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are meat, but I still want to see more from the Chargers, man. They gotta show me today, like, because
Sure.
if you go out there and you struggle with the Panthers today and you only win by like a field goal or something, then you obviously have a lot you need to work on yourself.
Yeah, they need to prove themselves against a very
They need to come out.
under-talented
They need to
team.
come out here tonight and today and win by a touchdown or more, and show that Jim Harbaugh's style of football and what he wants the Chargers to be are gonna be that.
Right.
Seahawks 1-0 favorite 3 points. Travel to New England to take on the Patriots, who are also 1-0. Over/under 38.5. I got the Seahawks without Kenneth Walker. I still think they win this game.
I'm just saying, like, I think that New England night was a fluke last week, and the Bengals were just a bad team. And the Seahawks are going to show us all how bad the Patriots are today. And they're going to beat the shit out of them. In Seattle, it's going to go down.
In New England. Max.
Oh, it's in New England?
Yep.
Damn. That might be a tough one, but still the Seahawks are going to come win.
I'm actually gonna go with the Patriots.
Wow.
And
Let's
the
go.
reason I'm gonna go with the Patriots is this: one, they're at home. Seattle's coming all the way from Washington, from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast of Boston to play the Patriots, or not Boston, but you know what I mean. The Seahawks struggled a little bit against Arizona. Their first game, they scored, against Denver, they scored 26 points. But I mean, Denver's defense isn't like just absolutely elite anymore. They've got good playmakers, but they've been a bad overall team the last few years. Geno Smith struggled a little bit. I mean, he had 72% completion percentage, but he only had 171 yards, touchdown and interception. Kenneth Walker had a good game, but like you said, he's out this week. You have Zach Charbonnet, but he has never been the full-time back before. I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's Kenneth Walker. And then you just look at New England, though. New England's got a very solid defense. Like, they still have a solid defense. They still have good, solid players on defense. They still play the New England style of defense in terms of what they've still been doing since Belichick's left. And their offense is going to be what it is. I mean, they're gonna have different scat backs. Stevenson, Gibson, and whoever else is going to get involved. Jacoby Brissett is going to take care of the football. I mean, he was on the Browns, and he's been around the league as starter on multiple teams. He does his job.
Well,
like he can go out and get you 200-300 yards if he's feeling it and it's a good day, and 2-3 touchdowns, and he may come out and only get you 100 yards and a touchdown and interception, but you win by 3 or 7 because you had a good run game and defense.
You just said it right there.
I'm going to bank on Kenneth Walker not playing and the Seahawks traveling across the country and the Patriots hearing, that was
tough.
a fluke they beat the Bengals. Oh, there's a fluke they beat the Bengals. I think if the Patriots can hold the Bengals to 16, that they can hold the Seahawks to 10.
You said it right there, though. With Jacoby Brissett, yes, I did get to see him, and I did have a little bit of respect for him, but I'll tell you this. He's a 1-win, 2-loss quarterback. He'll win you 1 game, then he'll go and lose 2. But I do think that this pick makes me nervous as well because, like you said, traveling all the way from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, I think this is going to be a nice, tight, under kind of game. But I'm still sticking with the Seahawks. The Giants and the Commanders square off. Commanders favored 1.5 points, both winless teams. I'll tell you what, though. Daniel Jones, the one team that he somehow plays decent against is against Washington for whatever reason, but I am not picking him. I think Jayden Daniels comes out and scores 2 tutties in this game. I have the Commanders rolling the Giants, taking the Commanders.
Yeah, how do you not take the Commanders? The Giants are trash.
It's a division game.
I'm sorry, last week at home. I gave you the home field advantage last week there, but yeah, you guys kiss my ass. Okay.
43.5 is the over/under. Max.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders too, man. Like, look, I think both teams have stuff on defense they need to work on, obviously, right? But when it comes to offense, I trust Jayden Daniels more than I trust Daniel Jones, and he's a rookie. That's just what it is. And I think all around there's more talent on the Commanders offensively than there is on the Giants.
Listen,
I mean, look at Jaden Daniels
Go
last
ahead,
year,
go
man.
ahead.
He completed 70% of his passes, 184 yards. It's about 7.5 yards a completion percent per completion. He didn't have a touchdown, but he didn't have an interception. But he also ran for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I mean, close to
pretty good, man.
300 yards of total offense, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Your first ever game starting.
Can't beat that.
That's really good, man. That's that's very, very good. I think today you're going to see him go out and be a little more aggressive. I think you may see the scheme be a little more aggressive. He's still going to run. I mean, that's just what Jaden Daniels do. You wouldn't ask, Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick or, Anthony Richardson not to scramble around and run and make plays with their legs, right? That's why you drafted them, so that they can be that dynamic playmaker. But I think we're going to get to see Jaden Daniels as the season progresses and as he gets more comfortable behind his offensive line and gets more in tune with his receivers and when they're going to break a route off or when they're going to come back or where they want the ball. Do they want it outside shoulder? Do they want it low shoulder? Like where would they prefer the ball? Once he gets that chemistry down, very, very good, you're going to see him stand in that pocket and throw it 20, 30 yards downfield. You're going to see him throw it across his body to the other sideline on an out route to a receiver that makes a fingertip grab. I mean, he has the talent and the arm talent to do that. I think it's gonna be a good game for him, man. I've been looking at his props all weekend, and I think I'm gonna do a little Jaden Daniels prop today.
Marley, we're seeing this happen in real time. Max got a shiny new toy. He's gonna slowly fade out Joe Burrow and insert Jaden Daniels. I see it happening before our eyes. He's gonna leave that man behind him like he never existed, and he's got his new shining toy and Jaden Daniels from LSU. Let's go, baby.
No, I'm still gonna talk about Joe. I mean, I'm just gonna talk about my LSU guys. I know a lot about them.
Yeah,
right? I know a lot of their play styles. I watch them for 4 to 5 years. So I like to see them do well.
Right, you
It's
grow
the
with them.
proper
And...
LSU suction that you apply to every quarterback that comes out of that school, bro.
No,
So look at here. All right. We've never had quarterbacks before, Marley.
Marley, no, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Marley,
listen to this. Listen to this. Go ahead.
Decades with poverty. So basically, LSU was the Browns with quarterbacks before 2018.
They were. They did not come out. They had like Matt Flynn. They had oh my gosh.
I could say the same about the Steelers and TJ Watt, would you? But I don't.
You're like a circus heel, though, bro.
Come on, Marley. I was just making a little joke. Come on, Marley. He's giving us some insight on some of his boys, and he's not wrong on Jaden Daniels.
Wait, hold on. Did you not have Jaden Daniels' rookie card?
No, they didn't have them yet. They didn't have none of the new draft people.
Damn, ain't that a bitch? I like fucking with him because now we're gonna have to start counters. We're gonna have a Joe Burrow counter and the Jaden Daniels counter.
All right, we're all taking the Commanders. Moving on. 1-0 Bucks. Sorry, we already covered that game. 0-1 Colts favored 2.5 points, traveling to Green Bay to take on Matty's Packers. Let's talk about this game, Matt. Go ahead. I'll let you lead it off.
Okay, so I don't know what to expect from this game, honestly.
Who's
With Malik Willis coming.
Who's your quarterback?
Malik Willis. That's who's starting today.
Willis.
What I think the game plan probably is going to be is to run through somebody's face.
Agreed.
Josh Jacobs, Eric Wilson, Malik Willis. I think you're going to see a lot of running the football today. I'm not saying Malik Willis can't pass. I'm not saying he doesn't have that ability, but we haven't seen him. Now, obviously, he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. He has only had a few starts and stuff like that, but we haven't seen him consistently do it yet. The talent, I think, is still there. I mean, coming out of the draft, he was very, very talented. But I don't know what to expect, man. I think it's going to be a rough game for us offensively. Defensively, I think we're going to have some trouble with Anthony Richardson just because it seems like we always have trouble with a mobile quarterback, especially one that can, as big and strong as him, that can run as fast as him. I just want to see consistency today in all aspects, from offense to special teams to defense. I want to see consistency. I also want to see in the play calling, defensive play calling, offensive play calling. I want to see consistency. We can lose today. It is what it is. We don't have Jordan Love. I've already accepted while he's out that we could lose every game, or we could go 500, or we could win every game. It is what it is. I want to see us stay competitive, and I want to see us be competitive in every game, even without Jordan Love. Show me that you're a good team. Jordan Love just makes you a great team.
Mm-hmm. I really love the under in this game, 41.5. I think both teams come out wanting to run the ball.
I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah.
Until that quarterback in Green Bay can do something, I'm taking the Colts.
I have to as well. I just think Matt LaFleur
I
as a
hate
coach, we
the-
said this last week. I think Matt LaFleur is a guy that's going to just still find a way to keep his team poised and figure out a good scheme for Willis to at least be comfortable for this week. But I
They
think
just can't put
the
the
Colts are
points
going to play
there.
the same game as the Packers, which is where I think it favors them a little bit. I have a lot of respect for Josh Jacobs. I don't necessarily think that Jonathan Taylor is going to run all over Green Bay, but I think the running game difference in this game is going to come down to the Colts, and I think the Colts squeak by. I'm sorry, Max. I think they squeak by until I hope Malik Willis comes out and tells me and proves me wrong. I'm not dogging him either. I just don't know what to expect like you in this game. So I have to pick one team. I'm going to go with the Colts on the road today.
Absolutely, the team that has their quarterback, the team that is continue to do their game plan offensively because they have their plays. It's not a bad. If you take the Colts, like I said, it's a smart pick. It is. I mean, like I said, we have a complete unknown at quarterback basically right now, and what we're gonna do offensively while also having the youngest team in the NFL. You know what I mean? So like we was already kind of like trying to get our footing and get more experience and continue to get better each week and develop. But like now we're just like a setback. So
Yeah.
like I said, I just want to see us be competitive today, man. That's I just don't want to see us get run out of the building at home. I don't want to see us get a garbage touchdown to make it a 14-point game late in the fourth, to make it prettier than it actually is. I just want to see us all four quarters, every single play, be competitive.
Getting into the 4:00 games, just a few of those. We'll get through these. Rams 0-1 travel to Arizona for a division game to take on the 0-1 Arizona Cardinals. This line is pretty much absolutely even split 50-50. Over under 47.5. Marley.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay.
That's a coin toss in my brain.
It is. Division game. Give me the Arizona Cardinals.
And I'm
Marley.
gonna take the Rams. Hold on, wait.
Go ahead.
These are my survivor pick of the week.
Oh, that's done. I already won that shit. Unless we're starting over.
Oh, shit.
What do we do?
No,
We should have talked about this before the show. Are we going to go back and redoing the Survivor again, or do we just want to go for lock of the week?
Well, my lock is I don't.
What do you think, Max?
I don't really have a
Well,
lock.
it is crazy that like that the Survivor thing is already over. This is just a tough week, bro. I mean, like I said, I picked the Bengals and y'all picked the same game, just opposite. So no matter what, one of y'all was going to be out the first week. It don't matter. We can do whatever we want to do. If you want to continue to do the Survivor thing because and see how far you can take it, I'm not opposed to that. And we can just kind of do our I can just say, oh, well, this is my lock of the week. It's whatever. You did win. When we made that in the off season and decided to do this, that's how we was going to do it. So like I said, if you want to continue to go and just see how far you can take it, that's cool. If y'all want to restart because it was a weird week, which I mean I can't say it can be a weird week every week. I'm fine with that. It's whatever.
Let's just go back to lock of the week. Was there any game that has gone on today already that you might have a lock for? Because my lock of the week has not come up yet. Actually, it wasn't going to be my Survivor pick, but this is my lock.
The Lions game.
You like the Lions as your lock? Okay.
Let me see real quick. Oh, 49ers.
49ers, okay.
I need an easy lock.
You deserve
Yeah,
it.
get
Even
back on
though
track.
our lock of the week doesn't necessarily consist of like an easy game, I'll give it to you this week. All right.
Oh wait, no, I forgot. That was lock of the week. It couldn't be like a team like that. Yeah, give me the Commanders. Lock of the week. Commanders winning.
I like that. All right. Yeah, we're still on the Rams and Cardinals game. You took in the Rams, Marley?
Yeah, I mean the Cardinals
gonna-
showed some last week against the Bills, but I think that the Rams will just come out. It's a division game, a little tougher.
Give me the Cardinals just because they're at home this week. I think it's gonna be a good game. And like you said, I know the Cardinals showed a lot last week. That's probably their best ever that they're gonna give all season. But I like the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals today in another high scoring game. Max.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a really good game. Cardinals did show a lot, man. I mean, they did really showed a lot, but when you look at the Bills too, though, do you think is that just maybe their defense isn't as good? But then you look at what their Bills defense did to Tua and them, so it's like, well, I mean, what
Right.
what are they? What are they? Is the Cardinals offense really good?
Welcome
Or
to
is
week
the Bills-
2. Right.
or
Welcome
is
to week
the
2.
Bills or is the Dolphins offense not really good? I mean, like what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
This was another game I went kind of back and forth on with kind of like the Patriots and the Seahawks, where I kind of wanted to go with like I guess the more not popular pick in Arizona. But I mean, no, let me say this: Puka, Cooper, all of them, they're healthy, right? Like all playing
Yep.
as of now. Like there's been no reports or anything that any of those are out for the Rams.
I'm pretty sure Puka's
I
out.
don't think so.
Puka's out?
I thought pretty sure he was out.
Oh, I think he is out. You know what? Give me the Cardinals. Home. Give me the Cardinals. I think Puka is out. Actually, I think he is out. Yeah, give me the Cardinals at home.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals at home as well. Moving on, Marley, your Steelers favored 2.5 points. 1-0 to start the season, taking on the 0-1 Broncos in Denver. Over under 36.5. I did an alt spread. I love the under. I did an alt under of 40.5 to cover. Marley, your team, get the hell out of here. They came out and kicked 5 field goals in a win. I am not impressed. They won me some money last week. But go ahead, talk about your game. What do you think?
All I want to say is TJ Watt, baby. TJ Watt. Just come out and wreck the fucking game by himself. Yeah, I am. Here's time for my suction, baby.
And he would have had a lot of sacks if he didn't get there wasn't a penalty
Joe
on every
Burrow,
play.
about this big. TJ Watt, this big. You got the whole damn thing, sir. Okay.
Look, I think I gotta
Wait,
say,
here.
look, I really hope that the Steelers go out today and put up 40 points. And the reason I hope that is
Here's my
because
thing. Go ahead.
Jordan Love was my quarterback, but I needed one because he got hurt. So I picked up Justin Fields in free agency and starting him today. I need him to run for 400 yards and pass for 400 yards.
You what? You what? You shit talking fuck.
Look.
He needed a quarterback.
Look, I needed a quarterback. Like in a 8-man league or a 10-man league, I think it's 10. In a 10-man league, every like good starting quarterback is already going to be on a team. Every team's going to have 2 good quarterbacks. So
Yep.
My backup quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers the last 2 years has not really been a good fantasy quarterback because he's not really mobile anymore. It's just dependent on passing, and you're hoping he gets 300 yards and 3 touchdowns to get points.
But bro,
Justin Fields is a running quarterback. He runs a lot. He gets points for that, touchdowns, passing as well. So I was just sitting there looking at it, and I was going through there, and I was like, who are they playing? The Broncos. I mean, is it the Broncos?
yeah, it's the Broncos at Mile
They're playing
High.
the Broncos.
It's tough.
Justin Fields last year went off against the Broncos whenever he was on the Bears. He's going to be a big part of their offense today, running the football, trying to throw the football. I think they're going to try to get him very comfortable with some easy throws today. I'm banking on Justin Fields having the game of his life again against the Broncos. So, like I said, I hope they go out and score 40 freaking points today.
Well, here's what's gonna happen, sir.
Marley, give me your game thoughts because I'm gonna have to edit out like 5 minutes of video of you doing obscene things on Twitch. So talk to me about your game.
So, TJ Watt, once again, is going to get the timing down of that defensive end and that center. He's going to come out and wreck the damn game. Jaylen Warren, hopefully he gets a little bit healthier, come out and run the ball.
Yeah.
Najee going to come out and wreck some shit too. I was not displeased with our offensive performance week 1, okay? We did enough. Yes, we kicked a lot of field goals. We never scored a touchdown. But we just did what we had to do to win the damn game.
Like you did
A
last
win is a
year.
win. I don't give a shit how you do it in this league. Just win. And that was against the Falcons team. The Kirk Cousins, everyone's like, oh, it's Kirk Cousins. We made him look very bad. We made him look very bad.
Very uncomfortable. Yeah.
We ate him alive. He was not able to set his feet after a while. TJ was just up his ass. And then after a minute, the rest of the defense, they had to pin their ears back and just go after him because they were just in a passing situation. They didn't have time to run the ball. They were running the ball, though, and they might have stuck to it, but they didn't. Because I think they might have had the game might have came out a little differently if they wouldn't have let Kirk Cousins try to win that shit for them. They could have come out and maybe run the ball a little bit more and might have made it a little bit closer. But I think at the end of the day, our defense wasn't going to let it happen no matter what. We're still on the road. We don't get to go home yet. We're going to go into Denver today. Who was it? Bo Mix or some shit?
Yeah, Bo Nix.
Yeah, okay, whatever, bro. All right, like you really think? Okay, so look what we did to Kirk Cousins' ass last week. All right, so you really think we're gonna let Bo Mix come out and do some shit today? I really don't think so. Okay, TJ gonna come out.
I'm a little bit higher on Bo Nix than a lot of people are, but I agree.
I hope y'all don't give up anything. I hope TJ Watt gets 12 sacks and Mika Fitzpatrick gets 40 interceptions because I'm also starting the Steelers defense today in fantasy against the Broncos. So I need 40 offensive points and 0 points on defense.
Max,
Not
who
only
you
am I
got?
not only am I starting the Steelers
Steelers.
defense, but I also have to start a linebacker and a cornerback on my team or a safety. So I have
That's
Minka
weird.
and
That's
TJ.
really wild as a
Yeah.
fantasy football
Yeah,
team.
give me the Steelers on the road here. I think they cover.
Yeah, me too. I really love the Steelers, especially with Mike Tomlin going against rookie quarterbacks. This is not only my lock of the week, but I've also have a 2-unit straight play on the Steelers to win this game. Give me the Steelers
Pound it, baby. Pound it.
because I have a 100% profit boost. Put it at plus money, so I'm taking the Steelers on the road for 2 units. That's
Let's
go.
that's $10 for me. So. All right, Steelers, that's my lock of the week as well. Let's get into the 0-1 Bengals on the road against the 1-0 defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Chiefs favored 6, 48.5 is the over-under. Joe Burrow plays well against the Chiefs. I will give him that.
I'm kind of curious on why this isn't a primetime game, though.
It will be. I'll get it.
Well, no.
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk too much about this game just because, like I said, I've talked about the Bengals a good bit. They've got to show me. They've got to show me that they're going to be the team a few years ago that was Super Bowl run, and they're about to start a big thing there. We need to see it. I've got to see it. They've got to show it today against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. We know the history there. We know they don't really like each other. We know they talk a lot of crap about each other. Go out there and show it today. You want to turn your season around. You want to stop getting people off your back and prove that you're here to stay. Go beat the Chiefs today and then make a little run.
If they don't beat the Chiefs today, you're going to be looking at a very demoralized Week 3 Bengals team because you got your ass whipped at home by the Patriots. You're going to travel to Kansas City, which is probably one of the hardest stadiums right now to play in the NFL. Arrowhead's just loud. And then,
Yeah.
No.
I'm kind of looking ahead there too. Even though the Bengals do start slow, like we've talked about, they have the Commanders next week, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Win here,
but I don't know,
win
I'm
it next
kinda
week.
high on the Commanders coming in and taking that game. But I'm gonna take the Chiefs, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs as well.
Chiefs for me as well. Last game of the day, Sunday Night Football. The 1-0 Chicago Bears, led by their defense,
How the hell?
take on Houston to take on the 1-0 Houston Texans. Texans favored 6.5. This is going to be a close game though. 45.5 is the over/under. Marley.
See, I'm like this because I got Stroud at quarterback. So we talked about this.
Yeah,
Did we
man.
start? So back to that discussion about last week. So I even said, do I start Tua over Stroud this week? Because it was a little, the Bills D was a little sus playing. They almost lost to the damn Cardinals.
And what did I tell you?
I didn't start Tua, to be quite honest.
And what did I tell you, Marley?
But I mean, can Stroud come out against a pretty solid Bear defense? It's not going to be easy for him.
No.
It ain't going to come out and be like all these guys are. The thing is can the Bears put up the points to keep up with Stroud?
Right.
Because you can still come out and put up 20 something on your ass. It's going to happen. He's got the weapons, he's got the talent. The defense down in the Texans, they're not going to. The Bears ain't that good on offense. They're going to be able to stop them as much as they need to. But I still think the Bears can probably the Bears can't score 24, they lose this game.
That's a good number. I
Sorry.
like that. Okay.
The Bears don't score 24, they lose this game. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the Texans.
I'm going to take the Texans as well. I'm curious to see what the Bears over/under total points is. Go ahead, Max. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans as well here. I actually think we're going to see CJ Stroud come out and cook today. I mean, like I said, he's got the weapons. He's got Tank Dell. He's got Nico Collins. He's got Stephon Diggs. He's got Joe Mixon in the backfield now. I'm a big fan of CJ Stroud, man. He's very poised in the pocket. He seems like he always knows what his reads are and where the ball's going. And if he doesn't like his first 2 reads, he's not scared to make that third one or that check down. I'm a big fan of CJ Stroud, man. I was at Ohio State. And I am now at the NFL, especially in his second year. He's a baller, man. So give me the Texans here. I think they're going to win. But I do think we're going to see the Bears maybe look a little better offensively. It's just going to take more time, like I said, for a rookie quarterback to get comfortable in the league. And Caleb Williams is just going to have to get comfortable. So give me the Texans.
Bears total points over/under is at 19.5.
Wait, what?
19 and a half
Under.
is their over-under.
Under.
Yeah. What's the total for the game?
They're both minus 110. The total for the game is 45 and a half.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If the Bears can't score 24 points, they're gonna lose.
I think it's like a 20. I think it's like a 27-14, 24-10 type game.
Gotcha. That wraps up our pick segment for today, boys, as we will get into.
What about the Monday night? Who's there on Monday night?
We haven't been picking
yeah.
the game. But we could talk about it.
Okay.
We could talk about the game. But
Who's playing?
Falcons and Eagles.
Oh,
Ooh. I think until Kirk Cousins shows he can get back healthy and a little more mobile, it's going to be a tough season for
that's
him
gonna
in
be a
any
long
play
season.
action type games.
I
Eagles
don't know
look
if they
pretty
can
good,
take
too.
the Eagles. I don't think that. Not that the Eagles' defense is better than ours, but like the Eagles' defense is still pretty damn good.
Yeah, and the teams that can beat the Eagles are the teams that can score points, and I don't see Atlanta being one of them yet.
No.
Not yet, at least. So that's the Monday night game. We'll make our
How's
pick,
that
of
a
course,
Monday
tomorrow.
night game too? That's dog shit.
All right,
Like,
boys.
these two primetime games on the night games, I gotta say,
Oh, it's the market.
Not
It's
good.
it's Chicago and Philly, bro. It's Chicago and
I
Philly.
get it.
It's
but
just the market.
I get it, but damn, come on, man. Like this shit's chalked once again.
Yeah, I mean, like the Bucks and Lions would have been fun Sunday night game. That would have been cool. I mean, even though the Lions got
Exactly.
last week's Sunday night game, but I would have watched that. Heck yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I'll still watch it. Once see some of the young guys ball out tonight. We'll see.
At least it was in a total shit wash, but I gotta wait till 425.
Have fun with that, sir. All right, boys. Anything
Yeah.
else before we wrap up the show today? I think I'm
That's
good.
going to be it.
All right. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on Peace of Mind Sports Podcast, week 2.
Oh yeah.
Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Go watch some football, eat some good food. Go Buckeyes.
Fucking kill Buckeyes.
Go Packers.
Go Steelers.
Peace out.
You know.
You know.